Hello, enumerators. Greetings from the United States. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you very much for your participation in this important project. This video is designed to instruct you about how to administer the discrete choice experiment that we're going to be running for this project. So thank you very much for your attention during this video. So first off, what is a discrete choice experiment? A discrete choice experiment is a type of survey technique that is designed to describe an individual's preferences for different attributes of a product or a service. So in this discrete choice experiment, we're going to be evaluating households' preferences for different attributes of their drinking water source. Discrete choice experiments have been used and studied in lots of different ways and shown to be the best method to describe household preferences before they actually go out and make a purchase. So this is called a stated preference study. So in a discrete choice question, basically we are asking the respondent to select between three different options. So options A, B, and C. And those options are described by different attributes, and I will show you those in just a minute. And those attributes describe those options and therefore elicit certain preference in the respondent, therefore describing their preference for these different attributes of, in this case, drinking water, their drinking water source. So for the discrete choice experiment, we're actually going to be using a lot of images to describe these different options, these drinking water source options. So part of that is going to be shown in this table in what we're calling the field packet. So you can see here that we have across the top the attributes for, in this case, a 20 liters of drinking water from a kiosk nearby the household. Okay? And you can see that there are three different attributes. We have availability, safety, whether the water has been treated for safe drinking, and then, of course, the cost of that water. And there are different levels associated with each attribute. So we have, under availability, we have always available or sometimes available. For safe to drink, we have yes, it's safe to drink, or no, it's not safe to drink. And then under cost, we have values ranging from 0 Congolese franc all the way up to 400 Congolese franc. And so you can see that we have images to describe these levels of these attributes to mitigate any issues of literacy in our respondent pool. So one of the important aspects of your jobs during the administration of the discrete choice experiment is to describe these images clearly and concisely to the respondent so that they're able to understand the questions of the discrete choice experiment really easily. The one downside about a discrete choice experiment is it really is pretty taxing mentally to answer these questions because we're asking them to consider a lot of things. So clearly explaining these images and how the questions work is really important. So that table kind of describes how we talk about these different drinking water sources, but let me show you an actual question. Again, all in the same field packet here. I'm just gonna pick a question at random here. So for example, this is one of the 10 different questions we're going to be asking respondents. So the question states, of the following drinking water sources, which would you prefer to purchase for you and your family tomorrow? So this question is designed to attempt to place the respondent in the actual situation of making a purchase and choosing between option A, B, or C. And you'll see that each option has different descriptors that describe it. So we have under availability, option A is always available. It's been treated to drink safely. And in this case, it costs 300 Congolese franc. Option B is also always available, but it has not been treated and is a little bit cheaper at 100 Congolese franc. And then option C, which you'll notice is actually always the same across all the different questions, and that's intentional. You can see that it is only sometimes available, so it's not a very reliable source of water. There's that uncertainty built in there. It has not been treated to be safely drank. And then also, you'll see that the cost is 0 in that case, so that's a free source of water. So as you ask more questions to more respondents, and we end up getting answers of A, B, or C, we will start to understand what these households prefer with regard to their drinking water source, with regard to these particular 3 attributes and these levels. Okay, so an important aspect of this discrete choice experiment is going to be connecting the digital M-Water survey, of which you guys are familiar, where the instructions will be for you to ask certain discrete choice questions that are based in the field packet. So it's going to be very important to connect M-Water to this physical field packet. And the way that we're going to do that is after you ask a discrete choice question and record either A, B, or C for that particular question, the M-Water survey is also going to ask you to record this number right here. We're calling that a validation code. And on this one, it's 6J, just as an example. And what this is going to allow us to do is to verify that the actual question here in the field packet corresponds to the question being asked, and therefore the response being recorded in M-Water. And this is just a difficult thing to do, and it's an easy mistake to make. So that's why we're building in these validation codes to make sure that the question being shown is actually the question that's being recorded in M-Water, so that the data is of very high quality. Okay, so in order to facilitate the administration and clarity of the discrete choice experiment, we have written up a script that you guys will become very familiar with, and that will help you to explain what I just explained in a much, hopefully, clearer fashion, because you guys will become the experts in administering this discrete choice experiment. And that script will also help you to make sure that you don't miss anything. There's a lot going on in this experiment, so it's important to make sure that we hit all those key points. And that script is in the user guide that corresponds, that goes along with this tutorial video. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I hit all the main points that I wanted to touch on in this video. Let's see, it looks like I did. So I hope that this tutorial video gives you a taste of what the discrete choice experiment is going to be like to administer. Going forward, in addition to this video and the user guide, there is also, of course, going to be an in-person training where we're going to review what was discussed in this video tutorial as well as the user guide. And then we will actually start participating in a mock survey administration where you enumerators will be role-playing. Some of you will be enumerators and others will be households or respondents that have certain characteristics. So for example, a respondent that really does not want to pay for water no matter what, no matter whether it's treated or available or any of those details, or a household member that is willing to pay something for treated water, but not too much. So you'll be able to walk through the questions, both from the enumerator side as well as the respondent side, in order to understand some of the details of what's going on in the discrete choice experiment from different perspectives. So during that role playing, we will have enumerators and respondents, and then we will switch so that everybody gets a taste of both sides. I think that's everything. So we're really, one last thing actually, we're really looking forward to getting your input on these questions. The structure of the questions is relatively defined at this point. However, the wording and the imagery and the colors and things like that are still very much changeable. So because you are the local experts, we really value your input with regard to how these questions are understood by locals in the communities that we will be surveying. So during the training, we really look forward to hearing your thoughts on these questions, any concerns you might have, any recommendations you might have for changes or improvements to the experiment are really, really very welcome. So we look forward to talking with you during the in-person training. Thank you very much for your attention during this video, and we look forward to seeing you at the training. Thanks very much.